all those things. When it comes to managerial economics, remember that there are a few laws that you have to deep dive into. And one of those important things is law of demand and law of supply. These are very, very critical laws to understand. Laws in the sense theory. They are not basically legal laws. They are the theories in economics that lays the foundation for managerial economics. So we will be studying those things and understanding what is business economics or what is managerial economics for that matter. So moving on, the concepts of demand and supply are always interesting. That triggers people that are inquisitive. So economics revolves around the law or the concepts of demand and supply. Comes to economics, it is law of demand and law of supply. That's true. So irrespective of what economics you are in, whether it is business economics or managerial economics, the components remains the same. They're not going to change until the name change. So economics in any form revolves around law of demand and law of supply. Alright. So I'm letting people join, but this should not be the case. Like people keep joining throughout the end of the session. So there must be some cutoff. Please join as early as possible. Okay. Alright. Let's move on. So there are a few things you need to understand when it comes to managerial economics, law of demand, law of supply and all. Okay. So in economics, use of the word demand is made to show the relationship between prices of the commodity and amount of commodity which consumers want to purchase at those prices. So basically, law of demand says what is demand? The definition is willingness to buy and the ability to pay for it. That's how demand is being defined in economics. So always remember when it comes to economics, the definition takes the form of inculcating the components of economics. So, unlike other disciplines of management, economics will tell you that the law of demand revolves around two things, demand and supply. So, what is demand? Your willingness to buy something. Okay, you're willing, the consumers are willing to buy. They are having either a necessity or a desire to buy something. That's why it is called they have a willingness to buy something. And then this willingness or this desire is supported by something, right? And that something is the price you are able to pay. So that's how demand is defined in economics. Demand is one of the forces that define the price of a commodity. Based on the demand, the price of the commodity changes. Like we keep getting in the news that the price of a particular good has increased because there is a huge demand. On the other hand, we also get news saying the price of a particular good has decreased because there is no demand for it. Like it applicable to perishable goods at a very large extent, which cannot be stored till the demand increases, right? Perishable goods are the goods that cannot be stored, that has a very, very limited lifetime, like vegetables, fruits. These commodities prices are day to day determined by the demands in the market. If you buy flowers during a festival season, or fruits or vegetables during festival season, the prices would be rocket high. Correct. On the other hand, when you buy them off season, you'll get them at a very cheap price. So how do these prices differ? It is based on demand. On Sundays, the prices of fishes and chicken and mutton will go up. On the other hand, prices of these meat items on some auspicious day will be very much lower. That's because of demand for it. So that is the role the demand concept plays. Theory of demand is related to economic activities of consumers. So, as we say, like based on demand, things do change. Prices either increase or decrease. So, we need to understand what is this demand is all about. Like, is there many kinds of demand? Is there many logics behind what is demand is all about? There are eight kinds of logic that creates demand. The first thing is negative demand. Product is disliked in general. The product might be beneficial, but the customer doesn't want it. This is called negative demand, which means there is no demand for the particular product. It might be useful, but you don't just like it. You don't just need it. For example, during summer season, there is no demand for a raincoat. If you sell the raincoat, you will get negative demand. People generally dislike it during summer. The product is of course beneficial when it rains, but it is not going to rain now. Though the product is beneficial, the customer just doesn't want it. This is called negative demand. Moving on, the next is no demand. So what is negative demand and no demand? In negative demand, there is a dislike, whereas in case of no demand, there is no dislike. Target consumers may be unaware and uninterested about a product. So that's how no demand is coming into picture. For example, let's say a college is introducing some African language as a new course. People are not interested in it at all. So they just do not dislike it, but they are not interested in picking it up. They're not just interested to enroll themselves for this course. And that's how no demand comes into picture. The main difference between negative demand and no demand is in negative demand, people dislike it. Whereas in no demand, people do not dislike. However, they're just unaware, they have no opinion, they're completely indifferent. The best example is like a college is introducing some course which teaches you some African language, and you are just not interested in it. It doesn't mean you dislike it. Correct? Alright, so moving on, we have latent demand. Consumers may share a strong need that cannot be satisfied by any existing product. That is called a latent demand, which is like an expectation that can never be met by any of the existing products. So in this case, companies do come up with something new. Sometimes they just cannot fulfill what the customer really wants at all. Declining demand, when the demand of the product is lower. For example, private colleges have this application form. Some of the engineering courses has lost its charm. People are not looking at nowadays. But of course, it is a good book. Those who read it, those who study it genuinely, they do find it good. On the other hand, the overall demand for it has definitely come down. There's absolutely no doubt on that. And then we have irregular demand. Demand varies on a seasonal, daily, or hourly basis. So these are called irregular demands. Like if you go to a restaurant, it is full during the weekend. If you go to the same restaurant during a weekday, there is no one else except the waiter. This is called irregular demand. That just differs or that just increases or decreases, shrinks or expands on a seasonal, daily, hourly basis. Okay, this is called irregular demand, which cannot be tracked that easily because we know that particular pattern arises because of some particular season or day or something that is not a business oriented factor. And then we have something called full demand. This is when an organization is pleased with the volume of businesses. That is, there is some exact demand to the production. So how much ever is produced, there is a demand for it. That's called full demand. And then there is something called overfull demand. Demand level that is higher than the organization can actually produce. That's called over demand. Unwholesome demand. Those kind of demand not acceptable by the society. That is people preferring to drink alcohol. All these things are called unwholesome demand. The features of demand. Difference between desire and demand. Like if we have to discuss the desire is a component of demand. So what's the difference between desire and demand? Demand is the amount of a commodity for which a consumer has willingness and the ability to buy. Willingness to buy and the ability to pay for it. There is difference between need and demand. Correct? Demand is not only the need. We also distinguish when the consumer has money to buy. Unless a customer has the money, he cannot pay. There is a demand. Demand exists only when consumers have the ability to pay for it. When there is only a desire and there is no ability to pay for it, it is not demand. It is just desire. That's the difference between desire and demand. All right. Relationship between demand and price. Demand is always at a price. Unless the price is stated, the amount demanded has no meaning. The consumer must know both the price of a commodity that he will tell his amount he wants. Correct? That's the relationship between demand and price. The demand at a point of time. The amount demanded must refer to some period of time, such as 10 kgs of wheat per year. Or I'm going to buy 6 shares a year or 10 shares a year. So, at what period of time your demand is referring to? That matters a lot. So demand is determined by the few things, right? Everything is being determined by something else in a process. So demand is determined by something else. Supply is determined by demand and something else. So this is how it involves. It's like a cycle. It's like a chain where one leads to another. Okay? The first thing, the first determinant or we will put is the price of the commodity. I still getting requests from people who want to join. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. I will add them all. Okay. So the next determinant is the first determinant is the price of the commodity. The most important factor affecting amount demanded is the price of the commodity. The amount of commodity demanded at a particular price is more popularly called price demand. The amount of commodity demanded, okay, at a particular price is called price demand. So, for example, you want a chocolate for 10 rupees. You will ask 10 rupee chocolate, 5 rupees pen. So these are price demand. The relation between price and demand is called law of demand. You get it now? So the amount of commodity demanded at a particular price is called price demand. The relationship between price and demand is called law of demand. Okay. So another ingredient or another component that determines the demand is income. Income of the consumer, because as we said earlier, that willingness backed by the ability to pay for it creates demand. We are now uh, considering income as a critical source because it is based on the income your affordability changes. How much you could afford for food is based on your income. How much you could afford for a holiday is based on your income. Right? The income is the base on which your affordability is built on. You cannot afford something that is like too far from what you earn. So earnings leads to your affordability. As I've said you in economics, everything has a chain where one leads to another. Right? So here the next component is income. The second most important factor influencing demand is consumer income. In fact, we can establish a relation between consumer income and the demand at different levels of income, price, and other things remaining the same. The demand of a normal commodity goes up when income rises. So here, this is a very good concept to we have to deep dive into. The demand of a normal commodity goes up when the income rises and falls down when the income falls. So this is how your day-to-day life is determined. The price of the food that you own as a proportionate to the income you earn per month. The OTT platforms that you have subscribed to depends on the income you make. For example, in a particular month or particular row of months, there is a fall in income or there is a too much of expenditure where you cannot get too much of money on your hand after your expenditure. You will not subscribe to all the unnecessary platforms that you have subscribed to. You will try to limit your expenses. You will try to avoid unnecessary things. You will try to reduce the number of times you visit a mall or you go for a dinner at a restaurant, or you try to reduce the number of holidays that you take in a year based on the shortage of income, based on the increase of expenditure in your budget. So the next component is price of related good. It is not the price of the particular good that determines the demand of that good. Price of related good are also determining your income. Correct. The demand for a commodity is also affected by changes in prices of related goods, that is changes in prices of alternatives. Related goods can be two types. Substitutes which can replace each other in use. Correct. What is this substitute which can replace each other? Like tea and juice substitutes, correct, which can be replaced. But not so happen. It is like you can replace brand X tea powder with brand Y tea powder. That's what human behavior is all about. But economically, coffee and tea are substitutes. But in general, tea brand X is a substitute of tea brand Y. The brand prices of your substitutes determines the demand of your product as well. And then the taste of the consumers. Taste and preferences of the consumers changes from time to time, right? The amount demanded also depends on consumers' taste. Taste includes patient, habit, customs, etc. Consumer taste is affected by advertisement. The taste as for a commodity goes up. Its amount demanded is more even at the same time. The taste of the consumer. Sometimes suddenly there will be a huge demand, like the demand for BTS, best example. The demand for anime nowadays, that's the best example because it just changed the taste of the consumers. Then obviously wealth has a proportion with the income, and then we have the population. If it is a normal FMCG product, the population determines the demand, right? The ability to pay for FMCG product is like attainable a bit easily, correct? And that's why the population prevails, the demand for it. And then the government policy. So what are the different policies the government make determines your thing. For example, government policy affects the demand for commodities through taxation. Correct. Taxation is the best way for the government to increase or decrease the demand for product. For example, if you reduce tax for a particular product, a particular day-to-day use product, the demand for it will definitely go up. If you increase the tax on the product, demand for it will come down because people who do not have the ability to buy it with a high tax will find some other alternative and go instead of buying the particular product, right? So that's how the taxation of the government determines what you are doing. So on the whole, if you take what are the determinants of demand, it starts with the price of that particular commodity, income of the consumers, price of related goods, that is the alternative that you can buy instead of existing goods, and then the taste and preferences of the consumers. That is what the consumers really want at this point of time. At this moment, there might be huge demand for VCDs in the past, but the VCDs just do not exist nowadays because there is absolutely zero demand for it. Nobody knows to use a VCD player. Nobody wants to know to use it because why should they use? What's the demand for it, right? There is a change in taste. There was no OTT earlier. Only a few existed. Now OTT is a very common thing. We enjoy seeing things on OTT. Correct? And then we have wealth as the important criteria, and then the population. Increase in population increases demand for necessaries. Right? The composition of population also affects demand. Composition of population. What is this composition of population affects demand? It means the composition of young, old, and the children in the overall population, as well as the ratio between men and women. Correct. The change in this composition will increase or decrease the demand. If the child population increases, the demand for chocolates and biscuits will definitely go up. If the adult population increases, the demand for their foods will go up. This is how it works. Correct. And then we have something called the final determinant, that's the government policy. Government policy affects the demand for commodities through taxation. As we have discussed earlier, with tax, the government can easily increase or decrease the demand for the necessary goods. So this is how demand is being determined through different things. Okay, however, there are a like sorry, there was some residential problem. I'm not able to. So like we'll take a break short, come back, and then we'll see what are the extra demand. Okay. Moving on, we were discussing the law of demand and the factors determining demand and the work in demand. Now we'll see like there are few exclusions when it comes to any law of that kind, right? Any theories or any law will carry a few set of exclusions in it. We're gonna see what some of them. The starting thing is given goods. Given goods is one of the popular exception to the law of demand. So what is this given goods? Superior goods, like for example, some special varieties of inferior goods are called given goods. So what are they? Cheaper varieties like some vegetables like potato or people are ready to spend more income on these things irrespective of their okay. These are called given goods, and then we have a blend effect. Demand is association with the doctrine propounded by Buckley. A few goods like diamonds, when the price increases, like prestigious people they want to buy them, so the demand for them also increases. And during emergencies, goods increases with respect to the demand and not price. And some seasonal goods, and when there is very much shortage of supply, it is again an exemption to law of demand. Apart from this, there are a lot of other things also to consider when it comes to demand. So law of demand is one of the critical things decided by finance ministers while making budget. Law of demand is one of the critical things when it comes to demand. So the finance minister analyzes law of demand and that is existing, and then decides what is to be done.
Awesome. It's not, அதான் அந்த ஒரு மாதிரி ஃபேமிலின்னு ஒரு நல்ல
வந்து முன்னாடி ஒரு பாட்டில் வந்து பேங்க் அவனோட பையன் தான் இதெல்லாம்
சரி எந்த ஏரியா எங்கன்னா போய் ஒரு விஷயம் தர்றாங்களா அவன் ஆழ்ந்த மாட்டேன் நல்ல பேர்
எல்லாம் கஷ்டம் பேர் வராங்க
ஆமாம்
That's what he's enough. No.
Economics. மீன் குழம்பு வைக்கலையா?
Sorry, I had some problem. My mic got muted. Was not able to retrieve it. Got it now. Okay. So going forward, I think now it's clear. Now there's no that problem. Someone from your side is muting me. Keep on. Okay. All right. So moving forward, we will see what are the different pricing methods that we have got. So after this pricing method, we will be seeing um, law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, that is one of the crucial things to be seen. So we'll be discussing that. To start off with pricing methods. So before starting the methods, I just want to make sure what is pricing. So a layman will have a different meaning for pricing than someone who has known about it, who has learned about it. Correct. So pricing, as the name itself denotes, is the cost of the product plus the profit. Cost plus profit is equal to price. So this is the basic definition of pricing. If someone asks you what is pricing, make sure that you are telling that it is cost plus profit. It is not just the cost. There is always this misconception that people keep telling price is equivalent to cost. That is not how it works. Price is not equivalent to price is equivalent to cost plus profit. So always remember price is equivalent to cost plus profit. Then you know, right? You might have studied marketing management, where the four P's of marketing extremely crucial for any company to run successfully. That is product, price, place, and promotion. So when it comes to these four P's of marketing or the elements of marketing mix, price is one of the neglected factor. That is, it is not given much importance while determining the price of a product, unlike you determine the promotion, the packaging, the product development itself. However, in reality, price is one of the significant factors that we have to look into in order to have a best marketing mix. The pricing objectives of service firm provides directions for an action. So based on what kind of activity is being moved, right? The pricing can be cost based or competition based. The cost based is what I have explained to you, correct? On the other hand, we have something called competition based pricing. So what is this competition based pricing is you keep the price or you fix the price for your product based on what your competitor fixes. That's called competition pricing. On the other hand, we have another thing called demand based pricing. That is, you in order to satisfy the need of your customer, you decide the price of the product. That's what we have discussed, few minutes back. People do ask for 5 rupee pen, 5 rupee chocolate, 10 rupee pen. So that it has to be in 5 rupee. So you make a product that's 15 for the 5 rupees, and then you sell it with the 5 rupee price. So that's what it is. Demand based pricing. Every single day, or as an outcome of a single meeting. So the firm is not in a position to determine consumer reaction. Correct? Companies cannot determine what their consumers will react to and how they react to. The question is, what do we mean by a new product? So new products for our purposes will include generally original products that is completely new, improved products. There is something that is in existence and you improve it and you make it new. That's considered as a new product. Again, and then the modified products from new brand and something innovative from the R&D. When fixing the first price, the decision is obviously a major one. It's extremely critical because the price that you are going to fix for your new product creates an image, a perception about your product in the minds of your consumer. You may have an existing consumer and introduce a new product, or you may not have a consumer at all. So this is going to be a first product, and you have to capture a consumer from this product. Here, the pricing is extremely important. It determines everything for you. Correct? When fixing the first price, the decision is obviously a major one. When the company introduces its product for the first time, the whole future depends heavily on the soundness of pricing decision. Top management is accountable for new product success records. Top management must establish specific criteria. So here comes the importance of strategic management. Correct? So it is the strategic management that matters when it comes to the pricing of your product for the very first time. Where everything is new, you have to set it right. The job management has to make a call whether they want to go with cost based pricing, competition based pricing, or demand based pricing. Top management must establish specific criteria of new product ideas, especially in a large multi-divisional company where all kind of our products, just bumble up, private of various managers. There will be a lot of chaos. There are always competitions who would also use it to produce the earliest opportunity, right? The conceptualizing of the products happens simultaneously, more or less. So it is like who brings it first to the market. Pricing decision assumes special importance when one or more competitors change the price. Sometimes the competitors may introduce a new brand without altering the price of an existing brand. If the new brand is perceived to compete with the given brand more effectively, then the firm in question may have to think on the price policy once again, right? The price fixed for the new product must earn good profits for the firm over the life of the product, provide better quality at a cheaper price, and at cost competitors face rising R&D, manufacturing, and marketing costs, satisfies public criteria such as consumer safety and ecological compatibility. So the first thing is earn good profits for the company over the life of the product. So every product has a life cycle, right? We all study new product life cycles. So it starts with introduction, growth, maturity, saturation. So this is and then the exit finally. So this is the cycle of a life cycle of a product. So over this period, pricing should bring you profit. Correct? That's the first one. And second, provide better quality at cheaper price. When we say cheaper price, it doesn't mean the product is cheap. It actually represents affordable price. You should not make product at an extraneous price and claim that the quality is like unmatched, so you have to pay. That kind of demand can never be made. Correct? So these are certain critical things that we have to look into when it comes to pricing. So then again, after this, we have something called strategies of pricing. So pricing is something that is like a very common thing happening in products of any industry and services. So nothing comes to you free of cost, right? In order to utilize a product or a service for that matter, let it be any service. It's not service A or service B. Let it be an airplane, let it be a customer care service or anything. Pay some amount of price for that. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. So that this pricing is one of the crucial things that we have to look into. What's the reason? Why should it be extremely crucial thing? That is another thing. Pricing is again determined by uh, different things. Correct? You should, in order to give a quality product, you should be make sure that the pricing is not something that is causing the product to fall. So it is a component that is attracting customers towards your product out of the quality it serves. Correct. Certain products will take a different call. Certain managements will take different call. It's not that the all managements of companies will take similar call. Correct. The product A might be always costlier when it and on the other hand, product B will be always affordable or cheaper. Let's say Apple phones, whenever they introduce it costly, then the price cut the price. Is the Android different story? No, Androids are also increasing it at the higher margin, and then they cut the price. However, what is the price Apple is quoting versus what is the price Android is quoting? That's what we have to check it. Correct. So even if you take only Android phones as a market, leaving Apple and other platforms away, imagine in Android, do all the brands keep same price? Do all the brands fix the price similarly? Two mobile phones from two different brands, similar composition. There won't be any much difference. Cameras of similar pixels, battery of similar size, screen of similar size, but the price differs based on the brand. Let's say Samsung versus Xiaomi. Xiaomi might make price it little cheaper. On the other hand, Samsung will definitely price it little higher, comparatively higher. It's not Samsung phones are costly, but compared to Xiaomi, Samsung is costlier. That's how this will be interpreted. So again, the management is taking this call. Correct? It is not based on the demand. It is not based on production. If you see quality aspect, earlier there is this conception that Xiaomi phones do not withstand more than 2 years in the market, but they are doing good. They are doing really good. Might be because uh, they are doing something quality wise. Something is there better than nothing. That's how it is interpreted when it comes to the mobile phone industry, right? Or at least Android. As far as Android is concerned, at least this is there when nothing is there. That's how Xiaomi is surviving. On the other hand, Samsung has got its customer base. It is not something that is there out of nowhere. Samsung is there in the market for a very long period of time. It has seen big competitors, like those days when Nokia was a big brand. Yeah, Samsung has seen it. When LG was a big leading brand in mobile market, Samsung has withstood it. So Samsung is again not a simple brand that you can take just like that and move on. So which means people are buying Samsung based on something called customer loyalty. So that is something Samsung has, whereas Xiaomi doesn't have. So when it comes to Xiaomi, of course, it is gaining customers. It is releasing phones in different brands like Poco is there, Redmi is there, Realme is. All these things are there. But at the end of the day, how about the loyalty? There are customers who will only use Samsung phone after Samsung phone after Samsung phone. They do not just jump to one brand to another brand just because the price of Samsung is comparatively higher. That is not happening with Samsung. Why is it so? Is it because people are lazy? No. Is it because other brands are not giving good things in the sense phones with equal phones that are equivalent to Samsung? Is it so? No. So what matters? Why is this split happening? That is because of customer loyalty, as we have discussed. So Samsung, on the whole, that has earned customer loyalty, okay, that is serving its purpose till date. Till date, when a Samsung phone is released, there are people who will go for it and buy it, right? That's not the case yet with Xiaomi. So, like once Nokia was in that position, but later on when they failed to adopt Android as their platform, they moved on to Windows. Correct? They moved on to Windows, and that was a like one of the three mistakes Nokia has done when the whole world was moving towards Android. Nokia, on the other hand, moved towards Windows. So this had made them payable. They couldn't succeed as a leading brand. The business empire has fallen down. At the moment, Samsung, LG were rising. Some indigenous brands were also rising in India and also in certain Asian countries. And then slowly, Chinese mobiles came into picture. They started giving everybody very, very affordable price. The people who are looking for affordability started using Chinese phone initially. There were a lot of complaints that these phones are not good quality wise. They're just okay for the time being. You can have it like a one-time phone. That's how Chinese phones are perceived initially. They are considered like one-time phones. And whenever people do not recall the brand names of Chinese phones, they're just called Chinese phones. That's not the case now, right? That's not the case now. So these Chinese phones use very beautiful pricing strategies. So what did they do? They do offer you all the facilities, all the features equivalent to leading brands like 10 leading brands like Samsung and LG. So if LG is offering a phone with let's say X amount of battery, Y pixel of camera, and Z size of screen, the same X, Y, Z would be there in a Chinese phone, but for a lesser price. So this is how Chinese phone came. So what happened when Chinese phones came with a lesser price? People started using it, though there were a lot of complaints. No, the quality is very bad. It's miserable. There is no service center. What to do when it got failed? Like this, there were a lot of concerns, lot of complaints. In fact, that's the right word to put in. But later on, what happened? Chinese phone took over the market, right? Correct. Chinese phone took over the market. It is now the Chinese phones that are leading Android market because of pricing. So now let's see what's the pricing that they have adopted. What is this called? As I've said you before, we have something called pricing strategies. Now it's time to see them. What these Chinese phones have done in the market is called penetration pricing. That is, you will introduce your product at a very, very lower cost, and then gradually you will increase the cost of it. Right? So what does it do? Basically, it helps you to acquire large amount of market share. Right? So that's the very important criteria when it comes to penetration pricing. You'll introduce your product at a very lower price. You'll attract customers easily. People will at least turn their head and see what's there in the phone. It's very affordable. Let me also try it once. Correct. So this is how you will start falling into penetrative pricing. So penetrative pricing helped Chinese phones to get a very, very, very good market share. And now you could see this Xiaomi, Realme, Redmi, whatever brands we call them, at the end of the day, they are from China. They're ruling the market. They're doing good service. Like most of us do use their phones, and we find them good. That's how it succeeded. That's called penetration pricing or penetrative pricing. Remember, okay. So what's that? So what's that called? Introducing a product at a lower price and capturing the market share. That's called penetrative pricing. On the other hand, we have another thing called another strategy that is opposite to penetrative strategy, that is called skimming strategy. So it is like skimming the cream. So this is the strategy that Apple is adopting for all its products, not just for phones, right? Pricing of Apple is more of skimming method. So they will introduce the product at a very higher price, and then it will skim the top layer, right? So people who want premium products, who are looking for premium products, they do afford it. Though sometimes it is not affordable, the desire to buy it will make them pay for it. And then the company generates revenue in the initial stage by skimming the premium customers. They do not concentrate more on acquiring market share initially. But gradually, as their business grows through skimming, people by default have the problem of status quo, which makes them so loyal to a particular brand that they prefer using it again and again. That's how the Chinese phone and the Apple phone differs. Chinese phone follows penetration pricing method. On the other hand, Apple phone follows skimming methods. So these are two different pricing strategies that are extremely critical for any product. All right. So moving on, there are certain things to recall when it comes to law of demand and pricing. Law of demand or demand for that matter goes hand in hand with price. That is, though there are a lot of determining factors for demand, price is something that is extraordinarily important, which means the way you price your product determines what kind of image that you're achieving in your market, right? The product that is priced extremely higher with an average quality will never succeed. The product with higher quality with higher price will never succeed unless you create other things. So it is price plus other things that you provide. So it is always quality plus other things. So there is nothing like one thing people do get satisfied with. One particular thing can never satisfy people. They want a aggregation of things. So it has to set up in such a way that one leads to another when it comes to pricing method. Unless that is there, the pricing can never succeed. Apart from this, we have other pricing methods that we have discussed. Price and cost. That is cost based, demand based, competition based. To start off with cost based, this is the bare minimum, or this is the most basic strategy of pricing your product where you add your profit to the cost. So here the price is equal to cost plus profit. The cost of making a product, the cost of production, plus the profit the firm wants to get from that particular product. So generally it is like cost plus how many percentage of profit. Cost plus 10%, cost plus 15%. So this is how cost-based pricing is done. For example, you are buying a pen that was 10 rupees. So this would be more or less cost-based pricing, where the cost is like 6 rupees, uh, profit is 4 rupees, or cost is 8 rupees, profit is 2 rupees. If it is 8 plus 2, it is like cost plus 20%. So that's how pricing is done. The next thing is demand-based pricing. Different industries adopt different methods. Demand-based pricing works out very well when it comes to food industry, when it comes to FMCG. For example, there is some festival. The price of the fruits and the flowers goes up based on the demand. So based on the demand, the vendors or the suppliers increases the price. So it's like if you're buying a pack of fruits on an auspicious day, it costs you literally two times more than what it generally costs on a normal day. Correct. So this is how demand-based pricing works. Sometimes it backfires too. That is, it will also create negative demand. So what's negative demand? That is, instead of liking your product, having desire to buy your product, there is a desire not to buy your product at all. There is a desire of hating your product at all. So that's called negative demand. So that is a very simple example is, let's take same pack of fruits. When you are buying, when there is a bad flu spreading across. So at this point of time, people do not want to eat fruits. They have the fear of getting the fruits. So here negative demand comes into picture. The people hate your product. They just do not want to buy it. So the price do fall automatically down. The demand falls down automatically because there is no customer to buy it. Correct. And then again, we have no demand pricing. As we discussed earlier, no demand pricing is existing customer base neither like it nor dislike it. That is called no demand phase. So here the pricing is extremely difficult because you cannot go either this way or that way. It's like cat on the wall. So determining on the pricing comes from the knowledge of the strategic management department of an organization. So they do a lot of research works. Let's take the best example. If now it's going to be summer in another few months, and you are planning to launch a raincoat, do you think it is going to be a successful business of launching raincoat during a summer? It will not, right? On the other hand, if you do it during monsoon, of course it does. So if you launch a raincoat there during summer, absolutely the demand is going to be zero. There is no demand at all. Demand-based pricing will become extremely difficult. Here you have to adopt different strategies. You can do penetration pricing, where you can launch your product at very low price, acquire a decent number of customer base, and slowly when it comes to monsoon, increase the price of the product because you have an existing customer base. You will have a very good word of mouth, and obviously your sales will not be impacted just because you raise your price. This is how Geo works. When Geo SIM card is launched, They adopted penetration pricing. The cost is zero. Literally, you can get it for free, and you will get 3 months of internet for free. After the 3 months, you will have to pay for the SIM card, and then once you use it for a year or for 6 months, let's say, you will not throw it and get a new SIM card. You will get used to it. You will retain it and you will pay for it. And after a year, when people want to buy Geo card, you have to pay and buy for it. It is no more free. So this is a very good strategic penetration pricing what Geo has adopted and succeed. Okay, let's take a short 5 minutes break. We'll catch up just 5 minutes. Okay. All right, now moving forward, the next topic that we are going to discuss is law of diminishing marginal utility. So this is something that is like familiar for many people. Many might have learned about it or at least discussed it or heard about it, right? The law of diminishing marginal utility is a very simple but effective concept in managerial economics. Or when it comes to any economics, the business or managerial economics, law of diminishing marginal utility is the very first step to understand consumer behavior. So why is it so popular? What does it give to the economics or to the consumer behavior field on the whole? Law of diminishing marginal utility says that the utility of a product diminishes over a period of time. So let us deep dive into this to understand it better. So on what grounds it stands tall, and is there any pitfalls to it? Okay. So when it comes to law of diminishing marginal utility, it is essential for us to understand that law of diminishing marginal utility is for the product that we consume. That is, as a person consumes a product for the first time, he gets the maximum utility. But over a period of time, the utility that he derives from that particular product diminishes. Let's take a standard example for this. So wherever people explain you law of diminishing utility, this is the standard example. Let's take a man, Mr. X, is extremely hungry. Okay, he gets an apple to eat. He started eating the first apple. He was like extremely satisfied. The apple was extremely tasty for him. He felt he was so relieved. There is something inside his stomach so that he could see everything full. His eyes were full. But after eating the first apple, he was offered one more apple. So he started eating second apple. The taste of second apple was like not so good. Then, of course, he enjoyed it. And then he had his third apple. He was like, "What's this? Should I even eat it?" Because it is like just an apple for him. It's not satisfying his hungry. It is not feeding his taste buds. So it's not doing anything in him except filling his stomach. So here the utility that he gets, here the utility that he gets diminishes. Correct. The first apple gives him the maximum utility. The maximum utility comes from the first product that you consume. So when there is a die hard need for a particular thing, and you consume it because you get it for the first time, you consume it, it will give you the maximum utility. But over a period of time, that utility diminishes. Correct. When you eat chocolate or when you eat biscuit, the first chocolate will taste you heaven. The more and the more chocolate you eat, you don't like it, right? It is like you feel heavy. Right? Same with the meat, right? So that's how law of diminishing utility works. So it is the basis for consumer behavior. So it is being used in various departments like sales and marketing to understand consumers. So how is it related to economics? It tells you what kind of pricing to be done when. When you introduce your product, people may look up to you if you are serving them. So over a period of time, when you hit a maturity saturation stage, you have to do certain kind of realignment. Sometimes over the price, many times over the product itself. So this kind of realignment, restructuring of the product is essential in order to keep up the utility that you provide to your customers. So when you fail to rebrand yourself, when the company fails to restructure its product, when the product development is not happening inside, it will affect the overall utility that you are giving to your customers. So here comes the big picture of utilizing law of diminishing marginal utility with your existing customers. Let's assume that if Apple is giving you a same iPhone 6 till date, do you think Apple would be very successful? No, right? Because Apple's competition is not Android. Let's take Apple is monopoly. Then why should they improve themselves? Why are they keep on upgrading their phones year after year? It is to retain the utility that they are providing to the customers. If the customers feel Apple is boring, Utility becomes zero over a night. You do not like their product at all. Apple do not want that to happen. That's the reason why Apple is, keep on relaunching their products with new facilities, new features, bigger screen size, bigger battery size, different variations. Earlier, Apple was not having these many variations. Nowadays, Apple was having so much of variations. Like you could see Apple phones having so much of variations. And this is all because Apple wants to retain the utility its customers are getting from their products. So that's the reason Apple wants to have it, right? So with this, we are winding up our session. Okay. Thank you so much for attending.